Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today, Ted, we have some very special guests with us, and I'm looking forward to hearing all of the information these two will share on our panel today.
Sarah, you're so right. We have one of the great names in fixed operations and retail, Bill Demaree, who's the corporate director of fixed operations at Tom Wood Automotive Group. And we're joined by the new intern from Northwood University, Stephen Hackbarth. Bill and Stephen, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks for having us. This is great.
This is a lot of fun. And, Bill, we were talking in the green room. You've been a part of the roundtable since the early days before we even did a virtual event, as I recall.
This is true. I ran into you in Las Vegas, NADA live event. I didn't know what was going on, but I saw the name Fixed Ops, and it's like, this is where I need to go. And I found my way to wherever it was at. Come in the back hall, everybody said, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I just want to see what's going on here." And I remember sitting through the class. I met you, and so story tells.
Yep, and here we are several years later. So thank you for all you do. Stephen, you have been a big part of our events recently. Congratulations to you on winning the intern competition. And I know you've got some homework you've done, and I think you have a question or two for Bill to kind of lead things off today.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me be here. And Bill, it's so nice to meet you. I just wanted to start off by asking, with NADA right around the corner, what are you most excited to see? And what emerging fixed ops trends do you expect to be highlighted at the show this year?
Two great questions. And I have learned in my tenure that if you don't have a plan at NADA, you're in trouble. So I do have a plan. I get really excited, number one, spending a lot of good quality time with the current partners that we have. What's unique about NADA is they bring the engineers, they bring the folk that can get stuff done. So we have our sales reps, we have, everybody that kind of takes care of us. But when you go to NADA, I want to talk to the guy back there on the computer and tell him what my frustrations are, or what I'm struggling with, or what my ideas are. And we build those relationships. And then that's my new contact person. So I do have plans of that in multiple of our partners. I've already I'll meet with them ahead of time and let them know what my intentions are. And start the planning. So I'm really excited about that. My next adventure, I'm big into AI space. I'm big into robotics. And AI has come a long way, and I'm learning more and more. I started in the AI space, I'm going to say 8 years ago, with a phone AI system up at our Minnesota store. And I'm pretty loyal until I'm not. So I'll work with you to try to get better. And what I found on a lot of the AIs is they climb really fast, and then it's like they peak. And then I'm looking for who's above that peak and how far can they go. So I've been with probably 7 or 8 different AIs, and I'm kind of jumping in really headfirst into a new partner that we teamed up with about 3 months ago. And I just met with their senior VP yesterday, and I'm signing on 2 more stores with this particular AI. So we're getting a little bit ahead of it at NADA, but some of the stuff that's happening with them has been really helpful to us.
Awesome. I have a follow-up to that. When you're evaluating AI tools as someone who's been in the space for a long time, what kind of things do you look for in noticing that an AI tool is, might be better than another one, or fits your needs and works effectively?
Early on, AI would have this long pause. So you would ask it a question, and you're like, hello, are you there? And then it would answer. The newer AIs have gotten so quick, and they can almost predict what you're going to ask now. And I look for the newest trend I'm looking for is NPS. So we have an NPS scores around our store. I want to know the NPS score of that customer that's on the phone. And AI can tell me that. I also want to know is if my wife calls and gets an AI, she's hitting every button to get away from it. but I want the AI to know that. You know that phone number, you know that person. So when they call, don't even try. Just say, I recognize that you prefer to talk to a live agent. I'm going to transfer you now, and just get it. So I've been working with AIs to do this for many years, and a lot of them will tell me, yeah, we can do it. Not many of them have been able to until this newest one that we just launched with. So I'll have an actual dashboard of an NPS CSI score live in front of me at all my locations that are on this platform. So it's just the continued evolution of what it's doing. AI phones, I have a BDC center. AI phones will never replace the BDC center, but it'll certainly enhance it and allow us to continue to make more than 50% outbound calls, which is our goal.
That's incredible.
Bill, I love that you touched on the Net Promoter Score and or NPS for our audience that may not be familiar with that term. But that, this is something that's really important, and can be, kind of a maybe a caution, because again, there's a lot of different ways that information can be used. But what I think is so amazing about what you're doing at Tom Wood, you really are putting the customer experience at the center of how you're navigating all of these processes. And just to curiosity, what kind of repair order volume, phone calls are you experiencing across your stores? And do you notice any trends between one rooftop and NPS scores versus another?
So I do, and it's interesting because the trends that we see, say at our Subaru store, are going to be totally different than the trends that we see, at our Nissan store. And what's also interesting about those two stores is it's a different AI system. I have one at each store, so I do some cross comparisons on closing percentages. How many appointments can the AI make in the new one? And I'll just say their name is Numa. I partnered with Numa about 3 months ago, and they have been able to. I always thought, and I'll just backtrack. I used to think if an AI could make 20% of the phone calls in appointments, that's 20% more outbound calls that we could make in our BDC. That 20% is like horrible today. Now that was, 3, 4 years ago. And now I'm seeing with Numa, I just saw a number of 74% of the calls that it handled, it made the appointment. 74%. Well, then you start looking at, okay, do I need as many BDC agents as I used to have? Can I do work from home, which we are doing now? Now we're doing flexible hours. Now I put an agent in one of our Highline stores that really struggles with some of the customer base. So we've been able to get a lot more flexible because we have AI handling all these things, and they don't call in sick. They work 7 days a week. They're always available. And Numa impressed me because they have this CSI module. I think they're announcing it at NADA. I don't think it's out public yet. It's a beta test, but it's interesting because if I can get the feel of the tone of that guest at one of my stores right now, and I can get an alert on it, I can notify the general manager, service manager, anybody, somebody, like, get involved in this situation before it gets out of control. Those are tools that are just priceless in our industry because you hear about it when you get the CSI score, then it's too late. The experience has been terrible, and you weren't there to take care of it. So I think it's come a long way, and I think it's just beginning.
Bill, I would agree with you. Tremendous strides being made, especially in that area. What other things are you looking at or seeing right now? I know you are an early adopter. I've noticed that over the years. You're out in front, and as you said, you're willing to work with a lot of these companies and you know make them better, perfect their processes, what they're doing. What are some of the other things that you're looking at? And I'll give you an example. Some of the things that we're seeing here at the roundtable are tech video MPIs. That's certainly risen to the top of the food chain, it
Yep.
seems, as well as many other things that look the vehicle over and examine the vehicle in terms of inspections as well.
You are spot on. So I've spent the last 3 years getting our teams to a minimum standard of 95%. I call it media. 95% of every ASR inspection has to have media on it. And then I think we were a little bit of video, a whole lot of pictures. And I think we were able to take our ASR closing percent from 32 to about 42%, 10% over the last 3 to 4 years. And when you're asking for $8 million of stuff and you can increase that closing by 10%, we've done very well with it. But it's run its course. It's like anything. I've taken that as far as we can go. So we are now 100% shifting to a minimum standard of 100% MPI videos. So that's been a transition we've been looking at for 90 days. And you can't just say, I'm going to do 100% video, like just get it done, guys. You got to coach it. You got to have a process. You got to have a playbook. So we've been writing and authoring our service advisor handbooks. We just completed them. So all 89 advisors have them in hands now, and it has step by step.
Did you say 89 advisors?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So step by step of how to do the job. So I should be able to bring Stephen into any of my stores, hand you this handbook, put you next to one of the senior advisors. You should very easily be able to master that job just by following the process. So once we get that done, that's great. But how are we shooting videos? We're asking a technician that doesn't like to hear himself, doesn't like to talk, and say, hey, go shoot a video in this MPI. And some of them are pretty brutal. So we just authored a document, a full page document, one pager. It's got to be a one page of what a best practice, what a template is, what does a good job look like on the video, what I want to see in every one of the videos. So we just launched that this week. I have my service advisor coach out in the stores this week training that particular process. And then we can hold accountability to the stores at 100% as long as we have been able to develop the process. And then I will hold the accountability. So we measure it every day. We're up to 84% this morning when I sent it out. And I'm telling you, we came from like 10, 12%. So everybody is getting engaged. We know the guest experience is so much better if they can watch the video of somebody that's underneath their vehicle. It's just a better experience. And we started with UVI, 4 years ago. That video experience of the drive-through, it's just transparency. And the more transparent we can get, the better we're going to be.
I remember that panel you did with UVI. Can I come back to the text for a moment for a follow-up?
Yes.
You told us about the advisors, about approximately how many technicians at the Tom Wood Automotive Group?
293, right behind me.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I track every one of them.
293.
And that does not count my 20 high school interns that are currently with us. So we have 20 high school kids we developed what we call the Tom Wood University. I teamed up with the state of Indiana. I hired a Lincoln Tech instructor, and I have 20 high school kids, 17 juniors, 3 seniors. I pay them $16 an hour to leave high school, come to our stores to learn our trade. And then when they graduate, we buy all their tools. They have no tuition issues. We're teaming up with secondary post school as well. So it doesn't include them. There's 20 of them. I have 54 on a waiting list for next year for the program.
Waiting list.
Waiting list, yeah. I need a school.
Yeah. So
Stephen, go ahead.
Yeah, it's clear to me that coaching is really important to you and the culture that you've cultivated at Tom Wood. And I appreciate that as a young person in the industry. And so I'm wondering, and maybe specifically in video MPIs, but even beyond that, what are some things that you've noticed are important for coaching and developing a handbook like that? Maybe you could give any advice on that.
I would. We teamed up with an organization called RockEd. And RockEd is a micro-learning platform app. Have you heard of RockEd? If you haven't, you should research them. It's a micro-learning app for training for leadership, sales, service, F&I. We also have our own onboarding app inside there. So every day, we ask that you take two learning hubs and an AI. It has a built-in AI feature, so all of our service advisors and technicians can enter into an AI challenge. How to sell this customer a set of tires, how to handle an upset customer, how to close a deal in the sales department. And that AI will print out a result of how well you did. There's only two people in my entire group that's gotten a perfect score. And it's rare, they say, to get a perfect. I haven't even gotten one. But what it does is it gives you coaching tips of how to get better. It helps you improve yourself. Like you think you do a really good job, with complaint customers. It says you just did a terrible job, but it offers up classes and learning at the bottom of what they recommend you take, and then you go back and take it again, and you just try to develop in your career and the way you're kind of handling customers. We're really, really, really intentional on training and coaching as a group. It's something that it's something we learned early on from our employee satisfaction surveys is the lack of training. We adopted this, and in 2025, 205,735 learning units in the Tom Wood Group, 6,857 hours of training in 2025 in this little app. We are 94% of our entire organization is in this app every day. That's when you know that you've latched onto something. And they asked for it. We delivered it. We teamed up with Rocked, and we do. I send a jet load of people to NCM effective leadership training in Kansas City 4 times a year, and we also host EOS Great Boss Workshop twice a year.
Bill, you're on the cutting edge with all of these things. What inspired you to look for if you don't mind, a learning platform like this?
It's been something I've been after for many years, and I've partnered with a lot of different companies to try to get to where Rocked is now. And growing up in this business, I've been in this for over 39 years. And I started as a technician helper right out of a college, and I was eager to learn. And there just wasn't a lot out there. I always say I'm not a real smart guy, but I can read, and I'm a hands-on, I'll roll my sleeves up, I have to get after it type of person. And when I roll my sleeves up and I get after it and I go into stores, I hear things and I pay attention to people that just don't feel like they're appreciated. They don't feel like we're there to help them get better. And a lot of people help me in my career get better and get to where I'm at today. So I want to make sure that we give every opportunity for anybody that comes in our group that has a desire to get where they want to get. And my thing is know what your God-given talents are and chase that. Go after that. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. I had many opportunities to be a general manager. It's not me. I'm a fixed guy. I love what I do. I love this side of the business. I went into sales. I was salesman of the month 2 out of the 3 months, and I hated it. So I could have made a lot of money, I think. And they're like, Bill, I'm like, no, put me back in the shop. I want to be back there. So, my son, he is a 4th generation. He's in the EV vehicles. I'm not. He runs a YouTube page and Twitter and all that other stuff. That's what he does full time now, because he's very passionate about. He knows what he likes. So if we can find a service porter that's hanging out in a service drive that really doesn't know what he wants to do in life, and I can offer him an app and a training platform that inspires that person to find a path within our realm of the automotive space, then that's a home run. That's a win, because we can develop them. One of those young men right now is a service and parts director at our Porsche store that years ago I found him as a lot guy in our sales store 15 years ago. And he didn't know what he wanted to do. He just graduated at IU and just trying to figure it out. And he's putting a license plate on a car, and he came over and helped me and inspired me. And now he's where he's at. He's running a huge Porsche store for us.
Bill, my our last question for today, in our closing moments. Here we are now. We're a month in to 2026. Hard to believe. Many of us are going to converge with the industry next week in Las Vegas. Sarah and I and Stephen will see you there at the
Yes.
NADA. What advice for your peers in fixed operations can you offer? As we look over the balance of the year and things they and you are aware of and looking at for this year. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. And this is kind of something we talked about as a group. 2025, we were either winning or we were learning, and it's something we've kind of developed for 2026. We're not gonna lose, and I think if you can just keep a positive, outlook of not what's happened to our business. Is it soft? Is it slow? What are we not focused on? Let's focus on the basics of the benchmarks. That if we can get these little benchmarks in place, the other stuff just takes care of itself. And just stay grounded, stay focused, take care of the customers, number one, take care of employees, number two, train, coach, and just follow the processes. And if you do that, these ups and downs have come for 40 years. They're going to keep coming. This is a great time when we're a little bit slower, to tighten up on your training, tighten up on your expertise, tighten up on that process, and just hold yourself accountable.
Sarah, always great to hear from Bill Demaree to kick our day off today.
It is, Ted. Bill, it's always a pleasure to get to learn about what you're doing with the Tom Wood Automotive Group and all the exciting innovation that you embrace.
It's a lot of fun. Stevens, congratulations to you as well.
Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me join today and pick your brain. I really appreciate all of your advice, and it's very inspiring to hear what your automotive group is doing. So.
We will catch up at NADA and talk shop a little bit more.
We'll all talk shop at NADA next week in Las Vegas. Sarah, excited about that. Stephen, it'll be, I believe, your first NADA. Is that right?
Yes, it will be.
Bring your
All right.
track shoes.
Great advice. All right. Bill Demaree, Corporate Director of Fixed Operations with the Tom Wood Automotive Group, here with us today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.